My wife and I have been members of First Calvary since 1998.
That's awesome. And that means this year you will celebrate 25 years
Exactly.
in connection and membership to First Calvary.
Exactly.
Nice. Why First Calvary? Why are y'all members here? What led you to First Calvary?
Okay, I guess the better question is, how did we wind up here in Durham, North Carolina? Because we were originally I'm originally born and raised in New York, and my wife in Henderson, North Carolina, but we met in New York. And we came down to visit a niece of my wife's, and for some reason or another, she was showing us the various homes, and because we had, at least I had no intentions of moving south, but be that as it may, we saw how the city was very nice, and that was on like the 4th of July weekend of that year. And on the way back to New York, we kind of made a decision. We agreed on something. Why are we stuck in New York paying high rent in a high-rise building when for half as much we could be in Durham, North Carolina? So we made the decision to relocate. We were coming back to New York July 7th. July 30th, we were members of Durham.
And you stuck here at First Calvary?
Oh, well, we weren't stuck because we did go around to various churches.
But it was laid upon your heart to become a part of First Calvary.
Exactly.
Nice.
Exactly.
Okay. So, Miss Dorothy, what about you? All those years ago, what's something that you remember about the connection that you were making at First Calvary?
The very first thing I remember is the friendliness of the congregation, because I have worked in about 4 states in my working career. And the covenant of Baptist Church says to seek a church as soon as you get somewhere, which is what I did, but I always felt like a visitor or just one among many. But when I came to First Calvary, it was altogether different, just like I had been here all the time. People that seems as if I had known them all the time, but the friendliness was what drew me here, caught my attention. It was the first thing. Everyone was so friendly, so welcoming, and you could just feel it. And I just felt like this is the place for me.
Mr. Robert, what about you? What do you remember about your first few visits or your first connections with First Calvary?
Basically, after we joined, I think that's the most memorable occasion. I was in the men's class, the men's Sunday school class, and Deacon Smith was directing the class. After the lesson, he asked me how would I like to teach. And when I had been at previous churches, I was teaching Sunday school lesson, and needless to say, that was a delight. He couldn't have asked a better question. And so, of course, I jumped at the opportunity, and I've been affiliated with that ministry ever since.
That's awesome. Now, speaking of ministry, what other aspects of ministry have you all worked in or have been a part of since you've been here at First Calvary? We'll start with you, Mr. Robert.
Okay, I think I've been in, 4 or 5 different ministries. I don't want to enumerate them, but I may miss one. But nonetheless, the last thing that I'm involved in is the emergency team, the emergency response team, which is in its infancy, but we're getting it off the ground. Sooner or later, we'll get it off the ground.
Okay. And what about you, Ms. Dorothy? What are some aspects of ministry that you've served in at First Calvary?
The one that I'm a member of is the senior missionaries. But the activity that I most enjoy is noonday prayer. We were having noonday prayer before this church was built. We were here, and there was a noonday prayer for various reasons. And then it just stopped. But there were 3 or 4 of us that kept going. And so we just kept going after the church really stopped with the noonday prayer ministry. And the late Minister Sentry and the late Deacon Shepherd and we would meet at I've forgotten the name of where we went, Chapel Hill Street, before this building was completed. And it was just the 3 of us, and we would be there every Wednesday. And people started coming in, a few here, a few there, and I enjoyed that. And so when this building was completed, we came back and we met in the library, and we kept the noonday prayer going ever since then. And it's still going now by telephone because of the pandemic. But that's my favorite memory of something that I really like to do, because I sincerely believe in prayer. And I know that we helped a lot of people, because people would just come in and sit down, and the next thing you know, they would come on a regular basis, and I enjoyed that.
That's good. What does your church mean to you? What does First Calvary mean to you, Mr. Ryan? Let's start with you.
What does First Calvary mean to me? Well, first of all, it's a Bible-based church, and that's the primary as to why I enjoy my time here. We have over 40 ministries. There's no such thing as I can't find anything to do. God has given us all at least one talent, and we can apply that talent to one of those 40 ministries. So there's no such thing as I can't find what to do. No bench member is necessary, you know, and we ought to belong to something and be operating in something.
First Calvary means to me, what does First Calvary mean to me? It's a place where I can worship. I love church. I've been going to church all my life. I was raised in church, and I feel strange if I don't go to church on Sunday. And as I said, the fellowship at First Calvary, the people who were so kind and so friendly when they didn't even know who I was. And it was a nice place to worship. I always enjoyed the sermons, the services, the music, and I just felt like this was my place to help to worship God, and I enjoyed it. And I just took to First Calvary when I first came here, and I hope to be a member as long as I'm around.
One last question. What would be your prayer for First Calvary in the future? We're going to switch it up, start with Ms. Dot this time. What do you pray for First Calvary?
I pray that First Calvary would do what we said our mission is to do. And you find that in the bulletin. I think it's the one with the three E's: empower, and enhance, and evangelize. And since that's our ministry, that's our mission, I pray that whoever is in charge of First Calvary, whoever is the minister, whoever are the members, that we will all continue to try to accomplish that mission, that we can do all of those things, because I think that's what church is really about.
Mr. Robert, what's your prayer for the future?
That we grow with the new minister that we have, Pastor Mark. He's very amenable, very reachable, and I only hope that we reach out to him. And as we are studying now is our vision, and he is taking on that we will have this vision together. We will all be praying. We will all be worshiping to find out what the vision God has for First Calvary.
That's awesome. Thank you both so much for spending some time with us. It was absolutely awesome to discover some things about the Vances as we continue to discover the vision for our church.
But let me just say this last thing.
Yes, sir.
We are certainly honored that you have called upon us for this particular mission, and we'll be delighted to be available for your services, whatever we can do.